Have you ever looked at your dog and wondered what he really thinks about you? Not what you think he feels, but what goes on inside his mind. When he follows you from room to room, when he stares at you while you're eating, when he runs to you during a thunderstorm, or when he curls up beside you and falls asleep without a care in the world. What exactly are you to him? Are you simply the person who fills his food bowl? The person who takes him for walks? Or could it be something much deeper? Because according to animal behavior experts, and several fascinating scientific studies, many dogs may actually see their owners in a way that is surprisingly similar to how human children see their parents. Not exactly the same, but far closer than most people realize. And once you understand why, you may never look at your relationship with your dog the same way again. Because the truth isn't just heartwarming, it's actually incredible. Let's begin. For many years, scientists believed that dogs stayed close to humans for one simple reason: food. After all, humans provide meals. Humans provide shelter. Humans provide protection. So naturally, it seemed logical that dogs simply learned to associate people with resources. But over time, researchers started noticing something strange. Dogs weren't behaving the way most animals behave around food providers. In fact, many dogs would choose their owner over food itself. Think about that for a moment. Food is one of the strongest motivators in the animal kingdom. Yet countless experiments have shown that many dogs would rather spend time with their favorite human than receive a treat from a stranger. That raised an important question. If dogs aren't staying close to us only because of food, then why? The answer began to emerge through a concept known as the secure base effect. And this is where things become fascinating. In psychology, human babies often use their parents as a secure base, a safe point from which they can explore the world. When a parent is nearby, a child feels confident, curious, relaxed. They explore more. They take more risks. They feel safe. But when the parent leaves, everything changes. The child becomes cautious, uncertain, sometimes even anxious. Now here's the incredible part. Researchers discovered that dogs show almost the exact same pattern. In one famous study, dogs were placed in an unfamiliar room filled with toys and obstacles. Sometimes their owner was present. Sometimes their owner left the room. The results were remarkable. When owners were present, dogs explored more, played more, displayed greater confidence. But when owners left, many dogs became hesitant, less willing to explore, less willing to engage with their surroundings. In other words, their behavior mirrored what psychologists often see in young children. Not because dogs literally believe you're their biological parent, but because your presence creates the same feeling of security. And security is one of the strongest emotional bonds any living creature can experience. Think about your own dog. Have you ever noticed how brave they seem when you're nearby? They'll investigate strange sounds, approach unfamiliar places, even confront things that normally make them nervous. But the moment you're gone, everything feels different. That's not coincidence. That's attachment. And attachment is the foundation of what many scientists believe resembles a parent-child relationship. But security is only the beginning, because the next sign may be even more powerful. Your dog doesn't just feel safer around you. Your dog may actually look to you for guidance, the same way a child looks toward a parent. But security isn't the only reason some experts compare the bond between dogs and owners to the bond between children and parents. Because there's another behavior that reveals something much deeper. And chances are, your dog does it every single day, without you even noticing. Imagine you're on a walk. Your dog is busy exploring, sniffing trees, watching people pass by, investigating every smell the world has to offer. And then suddenly, he stops, turns around, and looks directly at you, just for a second, then continues walking. Most owners barely notice this, but animal behavior specialists do, because this simple glance tells an important story. Your dog is checking in with you. Human psychologists call this behavior social referencing. It's something children do naturally. When they encounter something unfamiliar, they look toward a trusted parent, almost as if they're asking, "Is this safe? Should I be worried? What do you think?" And remarkably, dogs appear to do something very similar. When your dog looks toward you before approaching a stranger, when he glances at you before entering a new environment, when he checks your reaction during uncertain situations, he's using you as a guide, a source of information, a source of reassurance. And that level of trust doesn't happen by accident. It develops over time, through consistency, protection, and emotional connection. Think about it this way. Your dog doesn't understand the world the way humans do. He doesn't know why fireworks explode in the sky. He doesn't understand why the vacuum cleaner suddenly starts making noise. He doesn't know why a thunderstorm appears out of nowhere. But he understands one thing. And when he doesn't know what to do, he often watches you first. If you remain calm, he becomes calmer. If you seem relaxed, he becomes more relaxed. Your emotions become signals. Your reactions become information. Your behavior becomes guidance. And that is remarkably similar to the role parents play in a child's life. But perhaps the strongest evidence comes during moments of fear. Because when life becomes scary, dogs reveal who they trust the most. Imagine a loud thunderstorm. The windows shake. Thunder crashes overhead. Rain pounds against the roof. For many dogs, this is terrifying. Their instincts tell them something dangerous may be happening. And in those moments, what do? Do they run away from you? Usually not. They run toward you. Some dogs hide behind their owners. Some climb into their owner's lap. Some press their body against their owner's legs. Some refuse to leave their owner's side. Why? Because fear exposes trust. When dogs feel vulnerable, they seek safety. And the person they seek safety from is often the person they trust most. Researchers have observed this repeatedly. Dogs experiencing stress frequently seek physical proximity to their owners. Not because owners remove the threat, but because owners provide emotional security. Your presence changes how your dog feels. Your presence lowers stress. Your presence makes uncertainty easier to handle. And if that doesn't sound familiar, think about a frightened child running toward a parent for comfort. The behavior is surprisingly similar. Not identical, but emotionally very close. And then there's another behavior that almost every dog owner has experienced. A behavior so common. Most people don't realize how meaningful it actually is. Your dog follows you. Everywhere. Into the kitchen. Into the bedroom. Into the bathroom. Sometimes it feels like you can't take 3 steps without hearing paws behind you. Many owners joke that they have a furry shadow. But there may be far more happening beneath the surface. Because dogs don't simply follow people they like. They tend to follow people who make them feel secure. People whose presence matters. People whose absence they notice. And that distinction is important. Very important. Because the next part of this story reveals something even more fascinating. Something involving your dog's brain itself. A biological connection that scientists can actually measure. And once you hear it, you may understand why your dog loves being around you more than ever before. But the story doesn't end with comfort, or protection, or even trust. Because scientists eventually discovered something even more remarkable. Something happening inside your dog's brain itself. And it may be the closest thing we have to understanding how dogs truly feel about the humans they love. When a parent looks at their child, something extraordinary happens. The brain releases a chemical called oxytocin, often referred to as the love hormone. It's associated with bonding, attachment, trust, and emotional connection. For years, scientists believed this response was unique to human relationships, until they tested dogs, and what they found shocked them. When dogs and their owners share gentle eye contact, both experience a rise in oxytocin, the dog and the human, at the same time. Think about that for a moment. Your dog isn't just looking at you. His brain is literally strengthening its emotional bond with you. And your brain is doing the same thing in return. It's a biological feedback loop. One that helps explain why the relationship between humans and dogs feels so unique, so powerful, and so emotional. This is one reason many people describe their dogs as family. Not because it's a cute thing to say, but because the emotional connection often feels incredibly similar. Your dog depends on you, trusts you, looks for guidance from you, finds comfort in your presence, and forms deep emotional attachments to you. Many of the same ingredients found in parent-child relationships. Now, does this mean your dog literally believes you're his mother? Or his father? Not exactly. Scientists don't believe dogs think in those terms. Dogs understand that humans are different from dogs. They know you're not another canine. They recognize your voice, your appearance, your smell, your behavior. They know you're different. But here's the important part. Even though your dog knows you're human, he may still see you as something very similar to a parental figure. A provider, a protector, a guide, a source of safety, a source of comfort, someone whose presence makes the world feel less frightening, and someone whose absence leaves a noticeable space behind. In many ways, that's even more meaningful, because it isn't based on instinct alone. It's based on a relationship that has been built over time, through thousands of shared experiences, every walk, every meal, every game, every cuddle, every moment you were there when your dog needed you. Think about your dog's life. From his perspective, you control almost everything. You provide food. You provide shelter. You decide where he goes. You help him when he's sick. You comfort him when he's scared. You celebrate him when he's happy. You are the center of his world. And that's why many dogs develop such extraordinary loyalty. Because to them, you aren't just another person. You are their safe place. And perhaps that's the real answer to the question. Does your dog think you're his parent? The truth is, probably not in the way humans think about parents. But emotionally, your role may be surprisingly similar. You are the one he trusts, the one he follows, the one he looks to for guidance, the one he turns to when life becomes uncertain, and the one he feels safest around. So the next time your dog follows you into another room, or curls up beside you while you relax, or looks into your eyes for just a little longer than usual, remember something. Those aren't random behaviors. They're signs of a bond that has taken thousands of years for dogs and humans to develop. A bond built on trust, loyalty, comfort, and love. Because to your dog, you may be more than an owner, more than someone who fills a food bowl, more than someone who opens the door. You may be the closest thing he has to family. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe to Dogiee for more fascinating insights into the secret world of dogs. And tell us in the comments, do you think your dog sees you as a parent figure? We'd love to hear your story. Thanks for watching. And we'll see you in the next video. Dogface Redheart.